Hello there and welcome back to Manor Lords. In the previous episode, I have set up this little village of mine. Got a couple of homes. I have a couple of families working here. We have exactly one ox who resides over here. We have a well in the middle of the town. And I'm getting some food from the land. I'm gathering berries. This episode, I want to focus on not only getting a couple of hides from animals that I might be hunting, but also slowly but steadily upgrading the amount of buildings that I have, as well as the tier of buildings. Because if I want to grow into a medium village, I'm going to have to get a tier 2 or a level 2 Burgage plot. I need to have 2 of those. Now this is going to require me to have these guys get more of their needs met. At the moment, they want to have a church. They also want to have a clothing stall. That is going to require me to provide them with linen, leather, or yarn. Which one you want is up to you. I find it, especially in this early version of the game, or at least this early stage of the game, a bit easier to go for something like a weaver's workshop. Sorry, not the weaver's workshop, the tannery. I can use hides to produce leather. Now, it so happens that the hunting camp is going to bring in the hides as a byproduct of hunting. So the forager hut is going, let's say, offline. This thing is coming online. And with that, I should also be getting some hides into the generic storage. That will allow me to then use the tannery to start getting some additional resources. I want to have this here. I want to have an additional road going this way. And the market is still scheduled to be the core of the town. The marketplace currently has a firewood stall and it has a food variety stall, but well, there's not that much variety in food. This is a bit of a side benefit from gathering meat, because that will increase the food variety. Right now, though, it's not that big of a deal, although having more food variety does play into your approval. The more approval rating you have, the more likely you are to attract additional people to your town. Right now I have 5 families, one of them is unassigned, so they're largely on construction duty. I have 6 living spaces, so having an additional worker would very much be appreciated. Now, as much as this seems to be a peaceful, just relaxing citizen building game, or a city building game, at some point you might need to defend yourself. So we're going to need an army. There's 2 ways you can go about this. You can have a militia, and that's going to involve the male men in your town getting into a militia. The problem with this is you're going to have casualties. As you get casualties, well, there goes your workforce. Your workforce is quite literally dying on the battlefield. The alternative then is to go and hire some mercenaries. Now, over here on the top, I have regional wealth. That means I have 35 at the moment. I can hire mercenaries, but they're going to cost me 50, 110, or 30. So, right now the game seems to be promoting the use of the ravenous vultures, which is going to give me well-disciplined fighters. They're going to have various stats. Some of these things are still placeholders, as I'm playing an early access version of the game. I could hire the brigands, but at the moment, well, I don't think I have that much money, and I'd much rather hold on to it. So that means we're going to have to bring up the men from our town into a militia. What sort of militia you can get is going to depend very much on what sort of weapons you have. For example, I would like to have an archer militia, but at the moment I only have some spears. So I'm forced into getting a spear militia. The male villagers are then going to be distributed between the units if you have more than one. They will try to get the required equipment, which means a shield and a weapon. And if you have more armor, your units are going to do better on the battlefield. It's basically guys going home from foraging or going home from logging duty, getting their spear, and meeting the enemy on the battlefield. They're not professional soldiers, they just happen to be pushed into combat. So the more benefits they can get, such as armor, the better they're going to do. At the moment, I don't need to rally this troop, but if push comes to shove, or if the enemy comes to my base, I am able to do just that. For now though, thankfully no such need. Now the game is protesting that I only have 10 people. Why yes, because I don't have that many citizens yet. So this is yet another reason to start growing out your population. It's a sort of strength in numbers game, where if you have more population, yes, you'll have more mouths to feed, but you might also be able to better defend the settlements because there's more of you. So in that sense, building out your population is also going to allow you a bigger militia, which might then make you safer. And all of this is why I'm focusing on getting my approval rating up, as well as upgrading things to tier 2. Over here, the tannery is coming together quite nicely. We're getting a few more of the timber delivered. Suspect the ox is over here gathering the resources. There we go. Guys already getting the timber transported. And once that's done, we can start getting this. In the meanwhile, the hunting camp is hard at work slaying the animals, skinning them, and separating meat and hide. And with this, my food diversity is going up. And, as a nice side benefit, I am getting at least one hide. So, well, probably by the time that this building is going to be ready, I should have some hides. That's going to suffice the clothing requirement, but we also need to have a church. Let's see what we need in order to do that. This is going to require the resources of timber, some planks, and some stone. Thankfully, I have all of that. But that'll be the last of the stone that I have in storage. If I want to get more, I can, because there is a stone deposit, but it's quite a ways away from our little settlement over here. So for now, we'll just have to build the church. Yeah, and I guess that these were fairly traditional built in the middle of the town. So might as well. Looks to be a pretty sizable project. At the moment, I only have one worker crew, so it's going to take me a while before that thing becomes online. As for priority, it might be able to suffice without a worker. So I'm going to say this is a higher priority than this one. And as such, I expect the church to be sufficing their needs here. And with that, probably get more approval rating, so bring in more population faster. That's the plan that I'm working with. We're going to need a lot of resources here. A lot of resources. One worker only. Yeah, this is going to take me a minute. A little later, a family has joined. This is excellent news. I now have 6 families living in the town. My approval rating has dropped a bit because apparently there is some homelessness, which I don't quite understand, but that's from the previous, let's say the previous month. It's still carrying over. This additional workforce is going to come in very handy as I'm building the church. Because right now I'm having just one worker crew, which means they're going to be transporting the resources and building the church. But hopefully, by having 2 of them, I'm actually able to build as I'm gathering the resources. They're just about done delivering the timber and the planks. Now the stone is coming in. Oh, hold on. Oh, right. The supplies over here are still from the start of the game. I did build a storehouse, but I never assigned a worker to it, so my resources are getting wet. Now, I'm not sure if that is a critical issue. I mean, stone getting wet. Well, whatever shall we do? But food getting wet is probably a bit of a bigger issue. Food, however, has already been stored safely inside the granary over there. Okay, the supplies are now picked up and ready. I can ditch that worker from there, and here comes the church. Hold on, boys. Resources stolen by the nearby bandits. They stole 6 breads. And we're looking at a deficit of firewood. How dare you? That is a problem. Where are they? Here they are. Lovely. There seems to be a fairly sizable population of them as well. Where exactly are they? They're not even in my region, are they? No. They're in Immenroith over there. I, by contrast, am over here. This is my town. So these guys traveled quite far just in order to get to my bread. For now, I'm not interested in fighting them just yet, because I do have enough resources that I can still pick. Look at that, the berries are just full. Maybe I should start assigning a few more workers there. Yeah, let's not prioritize those bandits right now. Let's get this church going, and then let's finish up the tannery and start getting these things upgraded to tier 2. A little while later, the church is complete. I've also built 2 additional burgage plots, and the tannery is now ready for servicing. With that, we have an additional stall, and now I'm actually able to fulfill all the requirements from these burgage plots. So let's upgrade one of them into a tier 2 building. This is going to require a little bit of timber, thankfully not that big of a deal, because I'm still gathering plenty at the logging camp, much to the chagrin of the forest, which seems to be decaying quite quickly. So at some point I'm definitely going to have to add some people to the foresters' huts to replant the trees. Because the trees, well, for now I should be fine. But if I keep this level of destruction up for a longer period of time, that might be a bit of a problem. My population really approves of how well things are going. They like the market variety, they like that there's clothing. So all I need to do now is make sure that I actually have a worker crew available for this particular project. I did put another one on the Woodcutter's Lodge, so I now have 2 of them working here, because my fuel was going down at an alarming rate. Let's unlock one of those people and start upgrading this house. It's nice that there's new mercenary companies. Ah, look at that. We got another family moving in. Excellent timing. Excellent timing. Considering that winter is around the corner, I'm going to have that new family work over here at the Woodcutter's Lodge, so I can turn that into firewood. And over here, I want to see how that new house is coming along. It does look like they're tearing the old place down, as opposed to just upgrading it. And I'm very much interested to see what else we're going to get. Ah, a family member joins one of the settlers. Excellent. So we're getting more family members per plot. That's good. I think we're giving these people a bit too much to do. I need to free up one of the families in order to get this production going. Because they're, again, having to do transporting and construction. And naturally, that's going to take a little bit of time. Damn it. Now they're stealing meat as well. Okay. Is that the same damn bandits? Yep, it's the same damn bandits. Okay, fine. I might need to do something about them. Because this is getting a little out of hand. And now I have 14 out of my 36 men. I think we might need a few more. But we cannot keep up with this. There we go. Construction upgrade complete. Mortgage plot tier 2. With the tier 2 you unlock quite a few more additional additions to your building. A few extensions, that's the word I'm looking for. We have a tailor's workshop. Enables production of clothing. We have an armorer's workshop, if you have the development point for that. I can have a bowyer's workshop, producing war bows. Joiner's workshop, producing wooden parts, shields. Brewery, blacksmith. We can have all sorts of additional gear get produced. But this is, of course, going to come at the expense of regional wealth. Thankfully, with this new building, I am now getting a little bit of income in taxes. So that's good. Of course, this being a level 2 plot, it now also has higher demands. It now very much would like to have a tavern. It wants to have a higher tier church. And it wants some more diversity in the form of clothing. No longer do they just accept that we have... Was that hides? No, leather. They now actually want that leather to get turned into something they can wear, like shoes, clothes, or cloaks. So again, the requirements are going to go up. Seeing as I want to reach the tier 2, I'm going to have to upgrade another plot. I don't believe that they get downgraded, but it's entirely possible that I'm completely mistaken there. For now, let's just get the second one, and that should give me another point to research. And with that, hopefully also another family moving in. And additional people coming in will help the militia. We need more fighters. We need able-bodied men to do battle, probably against those bandits, before they come back and get some more of our food. Because now it's turned into August. So it is almost autumn. Giving me a few more months, and in December, the winter begins. When it does... I better have a lot of food stored up, as well as fuel. A little later, I now have a medium village. With that, I can get another development point. Considering that we are planning on going for farming, I might need to get the sheep breeding, or the heavy plow, or even an orchard, so that I can start getting apples. If I want to live off the land a bit more, I can get the apiary, which is going to provide honey, or trapping. It gives me a passive income in meat. Could be very useful, especially since there is a bit of that animal thing going on here, wild animals. Might be very, very useful. So that should mean that the foragers... No, not the foragers hut. The hunting camp is going to be more useful. As for additional population, I'm still eagerly awaiting their arrival, so that I can start taking the fight to the bandits. I want to see what combat looks like. Once more, the bandits have stolen. This time, they stole a couple of berries, as well as a bit of firewood, which is something I'm trying to store up. So the fact that these fuckers are out here taking all of my resources, that kind of irks me. Let's go and do a little bit of battle. Time to raise the banners and bring all these people to a rally point. Where are the bandits? Here. I have to rally these people. This is most likely going to mean that I will not have my population doing anything useful. Here we go. Select units with the left mouse button. You can drag and change their formation. And we're going to try and get these guys to eliminate the enemy. The enemy is over there. We're going to attack the brigands. Speed up time and get out there. Now, they have a couple of different stats. They got morale, the willingness to fight. They have fatigue. Of course, they're going to become tired. And their effectiveness is the attack and defense multiplier. Right now, their effectiveness is rather shit. But if I let them charge up for a while, if you will, I'll let them... Oh, hello. The brigands are coming to meet me on the battlefield. Isn't that nice? I am very much interested in seeing how this is going to play out. These guys have an effectiveness of 95%. I am going to stand my ground. Defense is doubled, attack frequency halved. That's fine. What are these guys packing then? Here we go. Have at it, gentlemen. Again, I would like to note that having my population die is very bad for my economy. So I'm actually hoping very much that I can keep them alive. My effectiveness, however, seems to be, well, about half of what the enemy has. And it's going down quickly. Yeah, I'm not going to push forward. I think it might be better to give ground. I need to try and keep my effectiveness up. And with my spears, I should have range advantage, right? Most of these guys have, what, a sword and a shield? Effectiveness 65%. Not sure if it's... I don't believe it's my guys dying, so it might be theirs. Their morale's falling, mine is not. Come on. Take him out. You can quite clearly see that I have not yet invested in helmets a whole lot. Because all the bandits on the right, well, mostly on the right-hand side, they actually have some headwear. My guys mostly do not. And yeah, a couple of them have bitten the dust. I hope that this is also going to eliminate the bandit camp altogether, but I, well, might be disappointed about that. Keep it balanced. I can try and push forward. Their effectiveness is dropping. Mine is, yeah, still half and half. Looks like this fight's gonna go on for quite a while. They got 11 guys, 10, 9. So it's 14 versus 9. We're gonna push them. Get these guys eliminated. Effectiveness, 36% versus their 80. I got 7 versus my 14. And I think that we have just won. Job done. Okay. I don't know if that was the entirety of the bandit camp, but I'm assuming it's not. So let's head over there and see if there's anything left to loot. Unfortunately, that did take 2 of my population out. So be it. Alright, what do we get here? What did we get here? When searching through the enemy belongings, you find a stash of goods. They could be sent to your people, who surely need them, though it is your right to keep it. No, I'm going to send it to the nearest town. I've gained region wealth. I have gotten, I think, a bit of firewood, and I'm not sure about the rest. Okay, let's get these people back as quickly as possible, because we really need to store up for winter. It is October, winter is quickly arriving, and I still need to get more food. So, let's disassemble the army. And just need to get them back home first. And then get them back to work. Now, the game is called Manor Lords. I already am a lord, but I don't have a manor. So it's time to start setting that up. This is the manor. You can find this under the Administration Construction tab. It's going to be my residence. It's also going to grant me a bunch of influence and raise the administration level. The administration level is required if you want to get up to higher levels. It's also going to provide you with taxes. Taxes are nice. If you're on the receiving end of them, of course. Now, this is going to allow me the castle planner. This is a work in progress feature, so it might not be fully done yet. I'm able to get a garrison tower, get an outer tower, walls and gates, and even a tax office. Unfortunately, the tax office is only cosmetics. So, while I might have one, I'm not so sure if it's actually going to be doing much of anything. The more that you place down here, the more it's going to cost. So please keep that in mind as you're thinking of expanding your nice little manor. Hold on, if I can put the towers... Right. So if I'm reading this correctly, I can set this up around the whole town. Yeah, I can shoot projectiles at approaching enemies. Right, so you can make this into a massive castle if you so desire. That means that this place is not the best location for it. It should be in the middle of the town. So let's say we have walls and gates. This is definitely not going to expand any of my areas. But this outer tower will. So let's say the outer tower is going to sit over there. And potentially... Yeah, let's just keep it like that for now. I don't feel like I really need a whole lot more. So let's commit to this for now. Once I have more resources, I can certainly start expanding more on this. But just having a tower, let's say sort of in the middle of town, might force me to expand a bit more west. This might actually allow me to start getting a bit of firepower deployed as I'm getting threatened. Potentially. But then again, I haven't really seen that many attacks against my town yet, beyond this thievery that the enemy constantly does. It is possible, however, that as I lay claim to a different region, I can claim that with influence, which is again what you're getting once you're, for example, building your manor, but also when I'm destroying an encampment. That's going to give you influence. If I claim this, and it's already claimed by somebody else, like Selbitz, well, they might not take kindly to that, and it is entirely possible that I'm going to come under attack. So that's when that tower might come in very useful. Let's have this thing get built and see exactly what it looks like. As winter has now arrived, you can see that the snow is coming down, and it is actually staying in the territory. Just note the detail here that this part of the fence apparently hasn't gotten snow yet, but the other ones that have are actually getting white. Now, they're very beautiful texture detail. Same here for the roof of this cottage. It's a beautiful game. And because it is most of the time quite relaxing, you actually have some time to keep an eye on these things. There goes the church. Now, because it is winter, that means that the berries that I was harvesting are shrinking. They will come back in spring, but I first have to make it to spring. Thankfully, I have food stored up for the next 12 months, as well as fuel. So making it through winter is definitely not going to be that big of a deal. The manor, in the meanwhile, is coming along nicely. We just need a few more units of timber, and then we can start construction. As for my resources, I'm not constantly gathering timber, I'm not constantly planting new trees, I'm not taking down Or sorry, I'm not using the saw pit to make new planks. Sometimes I find that you can just park these things for a while up until the point where you need the resources. Especially because human capital is still somewhat limited. I would love to get additional families in. And with an approval rating of 84%, I am expecting to get more population to come in fairly soon. Now, it looks like the manor is now very much under construction. They are working on the tower, and here it comes. Look at this. It looks gorgeous, doesn't it? I really, really like the look of this game. If you want to go into cinematic mode, it's Ctrl-C, and that's going to allow you to have this slow panning camera and remove the entire HUD. You can sort of take a stroll through your own town like this. I really, really like it. There goes the ox, bringing over additional timber. It's really good. I like it. Anyway, finish my house, if you will. I have people to tax. You people. Now that my manor has finally been built, along with the guard tower, I can have a look at some taxes. Right now I have a few ways to get tax. I can get the land tax, which is basically money, and I can have an influence tax by giving additional food to the church. So let's give, let's say, 10% of food to the church, and let's set... Yeah, it's fine. They're not going to appreciate it as much, but money's got to flow. I need my cash. So unfortunately, you people are going to have to deal with the approval loss and pay me what I deserve. If you want to expand the castle planner again, after having built this early manor, you can. Click the open castle planner, and you're going to get the option of building additional buildings, such as the outer tower, but also the garrison tower. I mean, now we're talking. This thing will shoot projectiles. This thing looks a lot more impressive. So I'm definitely eager to get one of these things out, the closer we get to the perimeter of the country, or the region. But that'll have to wait until a future episode. For now, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. I hope you guys are enjoying the look of Manor Lords. I really like it. It is a game that generally falls a little bit outside of my usual genre. But I find it to be a game that's relaxing to play. It keeps bringing you back because you really get to see your town been built brick by brick, well, not brick by brick, log by log in this game. You get challenges from the forest in the sense of the bandits, and look at this, just the detail, such as seeing actually your town get bigger and bigger on the map. I really like it. So more soon to come, and the game is coming out in a couple weeks. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon for more.